What's up, this is Stephen Bloodworth, and this is my review of The Waiting, directed by F.C. Rabbath. First off, I want to thank the director F.C. Rabbath for reaching out to me with interest in me reviewing his film. This is one, I gotta be honest with you, I had no idea what I was getting into, but what I saw was probably an eye-opener for 2021, being that there are several great horror movies on the horizon, and The Waiting is definitely one of the best. The first scene we see is two housekeepers at a hotel rolling up to a room and setting a timer for 60 seconds. My initial thoughts were either they wanted to break a record at how fast they can clean a room, or maybe they were trying to steal something from the room. But it turns out they have to clean the room within 60 seconds, otherwise, if they stay longer than the 60 seconds, a ghost will appear in the room. One of the girls does mention that this ghost is an angry spirit, and we do find out later in the film that she's haunting the room because she is waiting, still waiting years later, for her lover to return. It's obvious the lover didn't return and she committed suicide and is now haunting the room. A gullible yet gentle guy, Eric, gets a job at the hotel and is told about the legend of the ghost in room 101. Eric decides to check out the room, and lo and behold, he sees the ghost. He runs away, but a few days later he decides to go back into the room to try and see the ghost once again. We all can tell at this point that Eric is a gullible guy. Yes, he messes up a lot, but he has a big heart and he wants to try and communicate with the ghost somehow. Also, you might find it interesting that in the beginning of the film, Eric goes on several Tinder dates and none of them work for him, but when it comes to the ghost, whose name we find out is Elizabeth, he finds a unusual liking to her, and he kind of describes it as two people who understand what it's like to be rejected. So yeah, it's a horror movie, but it's also a paranormal love story. And to be honest, I did not see that coming. Yeah, I knew it was a horror movie, but I had no idea that this was going to turn into a love story between Eric and the ghost of Elizabeth. So that's the plot without me giving too much away. Now let's get into my overall thoughts on The Waiting. To be honest, I am not the biggest fan of paranormal films, but The Waiting is one of the most interesting and definitely one of the best paranormal horror films that I've ever seen. Just about everybody has heard some legend of some hotel or a hotel room being haunted, and it's been shown in several different horror movies. But I think this might be the first time where we find a horror movie where somebody falls in love with the ghost that's haunting the hotel room. In The Waiting, you root for Eric the entire time. You want him to fall in love with Elizabeth, and you want Elizabeth to fall in love with him. Throughout the entire film, I was sitting at the edge of my chair waiting to see what happens next. The characters are relatable, mostly people who don't enjoy their jobs. You have Eric, who's the new guy that really wants to try to do his best. You have Steven, who's kind of Eric's boss, who cares for him, but you could tell he just wants him out of his way. And then you have the two housekeepers, who are that typical buddy duo. Now, everyone knows me as being a horror fan. I love extreme horror, I love gore, but this is a different case for me because this was definitely one of the most beautiful films that I've ever seen. Yeah, horror fans might not necessarily like love stories, so F.C. Rabbath decided to turn a horror movie into a horror romance, and he succeeds. Beautiful story, beautiful concept, and overall it's a film that will be enjoyed by horror fans alike. For a rating, it's really no surprise. I'm gonna give The Waiting a go check it out now plus. This is definitely a film for all horror fans, young and old, and when it is eventually released, I will of course let everyone know how to get it. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out this review. And again, thank you to FC Rabbath for giving me the opportunity to watch this film and review it. If you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all my latest videos posted every Monday and Friday. And also make sure to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, to stay posted on what I'm doing behind the scenes of making these videos. Before you click off this video, don't forget to hit it with a thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below saying if you like the idea of this film and if you'll see it when it comes out. Until next time, take care and stay scared.